Hey everybody, Rose Matter here, and welcome to part 21 of my Umineko Let's Play. In the last episode, we had pretty crazy moments with Shannon showing her true powers, as I was hoping that she was going to have. But sadly, it was not enough to protect her and George and Goda, and they all fell to Beatrice and her minions. So with them gone, we are getting closer and closer to the end of the Twilights and to Beatrice's revival. So I think this is probably going to be the last part of this chapter. I don't know how long it's going to be, but we'll just have to see what happens, how it's going to end, who's going to die, how. I'm excited to see how they're going to do it this time. So without further ado, let's go back and see what happens next. We returned to the parlor. I felt a little anxious that while we were gone, a creepy magic circle or something might have been drawn on the door to the parlor, but thankfully there was none.
ありがとう、源氏さん。ここまでで結構よ。あなたも今日は休んでください。
かしこまりました。これで休ませていただきます。
おい、ローザおばさん。この状況下で源氏さんをたった一人で過ごさせるっていうのかよ。
そうね。とても危険なことだと思うわ。
She's like, either he's innocent, he's gonna get killed off, and we don't have to worry about him, or he's the one behind everything, so we don't want him with us.
でも、ならなぜ彼は無事なの？彼は3人が夏日姉さんの部屋へ向かった後、ずっと一人でいた。なのに無事だった。狼と羊のパズルよ。最も弱い立場となる孤立した羊が無事な理由は何？
狼がたまたまいなかったんだろ。
Oh, poor Badler. He wants so hard to believe that nobody he knows could be the killer.
違うわ。それが羊じゃなかったからよ。
源氏さんが狼だって言うのかよ。
彼は一人で厨房にいたそうだけど、それは証明不能よ。南條先生たちの死体を運んだり、ジョージ君たちを殺したりできたのは彼かベアトリーチェだけなのよ。
待てよ。その論法じゃ誰だって。
バトラ様、お気遣いをありがとうございます。私は
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that she was having that conversation right in front of Genji. I assumed he had already left.
一つの誠実であると信じています。たとえ信頼をいただけなくても、私は最後まで誠実でありたいと思います。
Yeah, not like Rosa was very subtle about her suspicions of the servants to begin with, but she's probably at the point right now, she'll straight up call him out right to his face and doesn't matter.
源氏さ
ん。なら決まりね。あなたが本当に無実なら、それは明日やってくる警察が証明してくれるわ。だから、それまでの間、あなたを疑いから外すわけにはいかない。長年、後宮家に仕えてくれたあなたに、こんな仕打ちをするのは本当に心苦しいんだけれど、今夜は分かってください。
And he's gonna leave and she's gonna say what she said about her before, be like, goddamn furniture, can't trust them.
そして、明日になったら、もう一度仲直りさせてください。
Genji-san gave his head a small shake.
今日も明日も、私は後宮家の使用人であり続けます。ご用がありましたら、いつでもお申し付けください。
Man, if Genji has any magical powers like Shannon and Cannon do, he's probably like top tier magic, other than his mad knife throwing skills.
それでは、失礼させていただきます。
After hearing all that, there was nothing left to say. Genji-san bowed deeply and left down the hall. And we entered the room. Wait, where was Mario during all this? Was she with them, or...? Even though Auntie Rosa still held all the master keys herself, she must have been with her. I think she was, because there's no way Rosa would leave Mario alone. Even though Auntie Rosa still held all the master keys herself, she began another thorough check of the inside of the parlor. She opened the curtains and checked again to make sure the windows were locked. Yeah, that's right, because Maria was comforting Badler when they found the bodies of George and Shannon. As I watched, how should I say it? I felt like it didn't really matter anymore. He's like, it's almost like I know we're all gonna die anyway. If I said anything unnecessary, it would turn into another fight. For a while, I gazed at her from the corridor, figured I had waited just about long enough, and entered the parlor behind her. If she can't trust anyone but the dead, she should just go around killing everyone with the gun she's got in her hand. And then in the end, she'll realize that she herself was the wolf. And then she can blast through the head of the final wolf, and the curtain will close on this insane murder theater. As I thought that bitterly, I returned to the sofa where I had been in camp before, and rudely rested both my feet on the table. I wonder if he has subtly, kind of like Higurashi, very subtly, maybe he has some knowledge of what happened the previous time, and he knows unless they solve the epitaph, it is pointless. They're all going to die. So he's like, the first episode, right until the end, he was fighting to try and, figure things out, and now he's just given up. Or was about to, when I found something there and stopped my feet. Oh, we got another envelope. Right there, almost as though it was addressed to me, was a Western envelope. It was that envelope from before with the seal of the one-winged eagle. And it was unopened. Wait. What is this? When? Who put it in a place like this? I've been sitting here the whole time until I went with everyone to check the corpses. And now we've got another locked door situation where Rosa has all the keys. She checked the locks and the windows and everything before she left, and yet somehow someone was able to come in and leave this envelope. And there hadn't been anything. And when I returned, it was here.
大丈夫。戸締まりに問題はないわ。この部屋は安全よ。
I heard Rosa muttering that. Wait. We'd made sure this room was safe when we exited it. We'd checked that the windows were all perfectly locked. And we had locked it, come back, and the windows were still locked. Then wait, who had put this letter here, and how? I opened the letter. 2 pieces of stationery came out. The first page had a magic circle drawn on it, and something like blood. If I asked Maria, she'd probably know what it meant. And there was writing on the other page.
気分の謎解きは進んでおりますか? もうじきあっさり時間切れ。第9の番はもうじき始まります。
There was no mistake. It was a letter from Beatrice.
ほう、バトラー、それは？
ああ、今ここに来たら、置いてあった。
Maybe you should have told now Rose is going to suspect Badler. He should have let her know right away that letter was there.
どうしたの、マリア？バトラ君、その手紙は？
いや、ここに置いてあったんだ。どうしてだよ。この部屋はちゃんと戸締まりをしていたのに。どうしてだよ。どうして。
Oh no, I wonder if Rose is going to start suspecting Badler now.
マリア、いらっしゃい。
Oh, maybe she does, because the only 3 in the room were her, Maria, and Badler. Auntie Rosa closed her eyes just a little, and after silently thinking something, told Maria to come. Maria obeyed her mother's words. As she did, something unbelievable happened. She's going to point the gun at Badler, isn't she? Yep. Oh shit. Auntie Rosa pointed the barrel of the gun at me.
バトラ君。
Oh no.
狼だと断定するわ。
Oh no. Oh no.
どうして。
Is this going to be like a chase scene? He's going to run away from her as she's trying to shoot him?
私はこの部屋にたった今帰ってきて、そのテーブルの上に何もないことを見ているわ。
Oh no.
そしてマリアがそのテーブルに近づいていないことも知っている。わずかな時間よ。でもこのテーブルに近づき、そして手紙を見つけたと主張するのはあなただけなのよ。
How shocking would that be if Maria just killed Badler right now and it's just her and Maria left? Because we assume Badler's like, the protagonist, but I wouldn't put it past this game to just kill Badler before the end.
そんなのって、いや、めちゃくちゃだ。なんで俺がこんなものを置くんだよ。 おいおい、俺は不審なものを見つけて報告しただけだぜ。なんで俺が疑われるんだよ。
あなたにしかその手紙をそこへ置けないからよ。そう、これは自作自演。あなたが懐から封筒を取り出し、たった今見つけたかのように振る舞った。密室の中に魔女が入って手紙を置いていった幻想を作り出すためにね。
I'm hoping she's at least going to kick him out of the room and not blow him away.
バカ野郎。またそういう考えなのかよ。
Maybe she'll kick him out and then he'll be there with Genji and then they're going to come back later and discover Rosa and Maria dead.
そんなことで俺まで疑うのかよ。いい加減にしろ。俺は親父たちを殺されてるんだぞ。そんな俺がどうして犯人の片棒を担がなければならないんだよ。
そうね、たとえ莫大なお金がもらえるとしたとしても、そんなことで肉親の命を切り売りできるような悪魔がいるなんて信じたくないわ。でもね、いるかもしれない。言い方が悪いわね。例えばバトラ君にとってルドルフ兄さんたちが親でなかったとしたら。
はあ、何を言い出すかと思えば、親父は親父だろうが。確かにキリエさんと血縁はねえが、俺の姉貴も同然のお人だ。そこだけは聞き捨てならねえぞ。
Oh wow. Understandably why he'd be calling her names, but still unexpected. Was like not that long ago he was calling her Auntie Rosa, which is kind of like a what's the word? Like an affectionate nickname to give someone. Oh, what if something happened because Maria said she'd protect Badler? What if she stepped in front of Badler as Rosa was about to shoot and killed Maria? Oh my god, I'm thinking real deep real dark things right now. Or maybe Rosa would be like, I've had enough of you too. Blam, blam. Rosa's just gonna go crazy.
ごめんなさい、言い方が悪かったわね。確かに後ろ宮バトラ君はルドルフ兄さんの子供かもしれない。でもあなた本当に
Wait, what?
ルドルフ兄さんの息子のバトラ君なの？
Oh my god, Rosa's lost her marbles. Granted, I know she hasn't seen Badler in like 6 years, but still, what?
何をわけのわかんねえこと。俺がバトラーじゃねえんなら誰に見えるってんだよ。
ルドルフ兄さんも含めて私たちは
Oh my
6年ぶ
god.
りにあなたに再会しているわ。
She's gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
あなたが本当に後ろ宮バトラかなんて誰も証明できないのよ。あなたは本当は
Oh
後
my
ろ宮バトラじゃなくて、後ろ宮家の財産をうまく騙し取ろうと紛れ込んだ何者かもしれない。
I will never be able to look at Rosa the same way after this.
あなた、自分が後ろ宮バトラだとはっきり証明できる。今この場で。
いい加減にしやがれ。俺は俺だ。後ろ宮バトラだ。そこまで疑い出したら
Oh my
あんただっ
gosh.
て本当に後ろ宮ローザなのかよ。自分は自分だ。他の誰でもね。ああ、そうだな。あんたの言う通りだぜ。死体以外で信用できるのは自分だけってわけだ。そこまで言うなら反論させてもらうぜ。ジョージの兄貴たちが死んでいた夏代おばさんの部屋には鍵がかかってた。部屋の鍵はジョージの兄貴が持っていたんだろう。そしてマスターキーを持ってるのは今やローザおばさんだけだぜ。あの部屋に施錠できたのはあんただけじゃねえかよ。俺の推理じゃこうだ。
That's right, Badler. Get back at her with logic.
あんたは真犯人と通じ合っていて俺たちの目を盗み5つのマスターキーのうちの1つをこっそり貸し出したんだ。
Badler doesn't really believe this. He's just basically throwing it back at Rosa to get the suspicion off of him.
そんなことしないわよ。ほらここに5つあるわよ。
そんなのは当てになるもんか。あらかじめ取り決めた場所に置かせて回収したかもしれねえじゃねえかよ。それにマスターキーが5個かどうかは疑わしいと言ってたのはあんただ
That's
ぜ。
right. Throw her logic back at her. Badler, go, go, go.
じゃああなたはその封筒をあなた以外の誰がどうやってそこに置いたというのよ。それが証明できない限り あなたが狼なのよ。
うるせえ。ならあんたこそ証明しろよ。
Oh, it's like he's crying. He's like, I don't want to do this. You're my family, but you're leaving me no choice.
犯人はどうやってジョージの兄貴たちをあの密室で殺したと言うんだよ。どうやって施錠したと言うんだよ。
まったくにもってその通り。夏日の部屋も全く同じだぞ。いつもの通り。扉も窓も内側から施錠されていた。いかなるイカ様も細工もなく、そして隠された通行手段もなければ隠れる場所もない。夏日自身の鍵はジョージのポケットに入って室内に閉じ込められていた。あとは5本のマスターキーしかないが、それは全てローザが持っている。ついでに言おう、その客間も同じよ。本来の客間の鍵は使用人室に封印されている。だからマスターキー以外では解錠不能。部屋の密室定義もいつもに同じよ。おいおい、容疑者はもう一人しかいねえぜ。それでもまだかまととぶんのかよ。後ろ宮バトラ
ー。うるせえ。てめえも黙ってろ。
He's like, can you please pull something out of your, like, out of your pocket other than locked room? Can you do something different, please? You're a witch. Come on, do something different.
黙るのはあなたの方でしょう。あなた以外にどうやってその手紙を置けたというの。それが証明できない限りあなたは狼なのよ。
俺が疑えるってんならあんただって疑えるぜ。あんたこそ証明してみろ。最初に部屋に入って戸締まりの確認だのを始めたのはローザおばさんじゃねえかよ。そして俺の座っていた場所に再び俺が戻るだろうことを見越し、手紙、これはあんたの罠だって疑うこともできるんだぜ。
どうして私がそんな罠を。私が狼ならこの銃で問答無用で撃ってるわよ。
そんなのじゃ理由にならねえな。マリアの目の前で殺人ができねえから、うまく罠にかけようって回りくどいことしてるかもしれねえじゃねえか。マスターキーは全てあんたの手にある。ならここもさっきも全部あんたの仕業じゃねえかよ。言い逃れできるってんなら言い訳を聞かせてみろよ。
Alright. At first, I was thinking maybe Badler didn't believe this and he was just trying to get the heat off of him, but now the more he's talking, the more I'm like, does he? Deep down, maybe he suspects Rosa after all.
そうさ。ローザおばさんは最初から怪しいんだよ。
Oh, maybe he does suspect her for real.
なんで親族会議の大人たちが6人殺されたのに
That's
ロ
true
ーザおば
enough.
さんだけが例外なんだ。なんでローザおばさんだけがあの礼拝堂にいなかったんだ。一つしか理由がねえよ。ローザおばさんが親父たちをあそこに招いて殺したんだ。くそくそ、それで全部説明がつくじゃねえかよ。ふざけんじゃねえ、ふざけんじゃねえ。
Oh, I wonder if they're gonna be...
わかんねえことを言うんじゃねえ。
I wonder if they're gonna start fighting over the gun. Maria thrust herself in between me and Auntie Rosa, both of us incensed. I was taken aback by Maria's crying voice and returned to my senses. At that instant, I became filled with shame. Tears flowed from my eyes. Aww. Aww.
そうなんだよ。全部魔女のせいだったんじゃないかよ。鍵がどうこうとかトリックだのアリバイだの全部バカらしかったんだ。魔女の仕業なのに俺たちは同じ人間同士を信じ合うこともできなくてなあ、ローザおばさん、人間の犯人なんて最初からいなかったんだ。全部魔女の仕業だったんだ。 だからローザおばさんが犯人のわけがないし、俺やマリアだって、そして源氏さんだって他のみんなだって犯人のわけがないんだ。どうしてこんなことに。俺はどうして大好きだったローザおばさんとこんなことの怒鳴り合いをしてるんだよ。優しくって大好きだったおばさんとどうしてこんな罵り合いをしてるんだよ。なんでみんなで疑い合わなくちゃならねえんだよ。おばさんを疑ってなんかいないんだ。誰も疑ってなんかないんだ。
Yeah, Rose is like, well, that's all well and good for you. I still suspect you.
全部魔女の仕業だったんだ。ベアトリーチェの仕業だったんだ。全部ベアトリーチェが魔法で行った事件だったんだ。ベアトリーチェ、頼むからここに現れてくれよ。そして
Aw.
自分が全てやったと俺たちに告白してくれよ。もうごめんだ。こんな疑り合いはごめんなんだ。だから俺たちを許してくれ。解放してくれ。互いの死を見届け合うまで疑り合わなきゃならない地獄から解放してくれ。俺に優しい親戚たちを、いとこたちを返してくれよ。もう嫌だ、全部嫌だ。お前は確かに実在する。姿を見せてくれよ。ベアトリーチェ、ベアトリーチェ。
Is she gonna show up? Is she going to appear in front of them being like, that's what I wanted? Oh, what's gonna happen? Damn it! I was expecting her to just pop and be like, okay. Oh my gosh, Kinzo! We finally get the answer. Kinzo seemed to have fallen into a doze at some point. He searched for his spectacles and looked at the clock. It was 10 p.m.
あやつの儀式ははてどこまで進んだのか。時間的にはもうだいぶ進んでいなくてはならぬ頃だ。
Kinzo lifted his heavy body from the chair and approached the portrait of the witch he had gazed at every day.
ベアトリーチェ、もうじきお前の微笑みに再会できる。死んでもいい。お前の微笑みがもう一度見られるならこの命は惜しくない。だから交渉だ。お前にもう一度会わせてくれ。そして愛を誓わせておくれ。私の罪を謝らせておくれ。だが逃がさん。お前は私のものだ。髪の毛の一本からつま先まで爪の赤すらも私のものなのだ。お前の肉一片までも全て私のもので、その亡骸の煮汁まで私のものなのだ。逃がさん。今度こそこの手からこぼさん。お前を永遠に私のものにしてやるぞ。二度と逃がすものか。二度と逃がすものか。
Kinzo howled in rage, then suddenly fell to his knees as he shook and scraped at the wall. In an instant, he had started sobbing.
違う。私が言いたいのはこんなことじゃないんだ。ベアトリーチェ、頼む。もう一度会わせてくれ。謝らせてくれるだけでいい。ベアトリーチェ。
And no, The voice actors go hard in this game, but this Kinzo's voice actor goes extra hard. Him and Beatrice's BO.
お前が愛しい恋しい私が間違っていたお前が微笑んでさえくれれば他には何もいらなかったんだ私が間違えた私がそれを間違えて取り返しのつかないことをしてしまったその償いに残りの全ての人生を捧げたお前に詫びるために私の罪を償うために全て捧げたんだ頼む私の死の際でもいいせめてお前に一言謝らせてベアトリーチェ
Oh, is she actually going to appear to him? As Kinzo shook and cried, behind his small back, a butterfly appeared out of nowhere, like a flake of gold leaf, and softly fell down. Oh, but he can't see her, right? You fool, Kinzo. Do you think a woman exists who would fall for a man's tears? Well, even if it wouldn't make a human woman fall for you, it might for a woman who is not human. Kinzo, do you remember the board position of our chess game, which we never finished? Kinzo, as though he had suddenly remembered something, approached the chess set. The game he had been playing with Nanjo until yesterday remained there still. He wiped the pieces from the chessboard with a wide sweeping motion and began to line them up again one by one. It was the setup for a game in progress.
そうだこうだ私はクイーンを進めたとても良い妙手だったお前には少々きつすぎるかもしれん一手だったお前は駒を見捨てるか見捨てないかに悩みずっと悩み
Kinzo waited with the opposite seat empty. Surely, very soon, his opponent would appear there, and he would be able to restart this game again. You fool, Kinzo. You want to apologize? You want to see my face again? You want to make my smile an eternal thing? Why can't you say a much, much simpler word? Even though that is the single element of the world. Oh, love? At that time, Kinzo muttered, a prayer? An entreaty? It was probably best to just call it muttering. As she said before, right? Yeah, that love is the big thing in the world, right? Is love makes the world go round. They were pure words, like something an innocent child would say without any evil intent. Oh. You really are a fool, Kinzo. If you ever had the chance to do your life over again, know that those words could never cause a woman to fall for you. Yes, not without a miracle. So this... Just then, Kinzo definitely heard a small knock with a different tempo than those of the servants. The woman beyond the door didn't answer. The woman beyond the door didn't answer.
Beatrice なのか Beatrice! Beatrice!
The woman beyond the door answered. On the night twilight, the witch revives and none shall be left alive. Oh, it's happening! It's happening! Alright, it's all gonna be over soon. Badler could be found in the dining hall, unable to summon the will to return to the guest house in the middle of this rain. He had wandered half-heartedly around the mansion in search of a random place to sit, and had stationed himself in the dining hall. Yeah, if I were him, I'd be like, I don't care if the parlor is the safest place. After that whole thing with Rosa, it'd be so awkward. I would be like, I don't care if I'm gonna die. I'd rather die than sit in this stagnant, like, awkwardness of, you know, having accused my aunt of killing my parents. He hadn't bothered to lock it. He did think maybe the shapeless murderer or the golden witch might come to kill him now that he was isolated, but he no longer thought about resisting that. On the contrary, he had no intention of blocking the culprit with a lock. He wanted that person to come at him openly from the front. If it was a murderer, he thought he'd ask them to tell about some of those wonderful locked room tricks as a parting souvenir. And if it was a witch, he thought he'd ask her to at least take his life with some wonderful magic. However, ironically, neither of these two came to meet Badler. Badler opened the liquor cabinet on his own and enjoyed the liquor to his heart's content. No longer was there anybody anywhere who would have a problem with him drinking alcohol. He boldly set both his legs on the extravagant tablecloth and savored the high-quality liquor, which probably had a mind-boggling price straight from the neck of the bottle. At that time, someone knocked. Badler realized he was about to meet his maker.
ああ、鍵なんかかかってねえぜ。誰でも入ってきてくれ。そして自己紹介を頼むぜ。人間なら名前を名乗ってくれ。ベアトリーチェだってんなら3サイズを教えてくれ。俺はこう見えてもちょいと知られたおっぱいソムリエなんだぜ。
源氏でございます。バトラ。
源氏さんか。悪いがあんたのバストのサイズに興味はねえな。入ってくれよ。空いてるぜ。
失礼いたします。
Genji-san opened the door and bowed. So Genji-san was the culprit after all, or maybe an accomplice? That theory would probably explain most of the tricks.
あんたが俺に引導を渡しに来たのかい？
そのようなことはございません。お邪魔なようでしたら失礼いたします。
おいおい、要件も伝えず失礼しますじゃかえって気持ち悪いぜ。何の用だよ。最後くらい好きにさせてくれ。
バトラ様は死せる最後のわずかな時間をそのように怠惰に過ごされることをお望みですか？
Those words stung. Of course it wasn't.
今さら何ができるってんだ。俺はいつだって死ぬ準備はできてるぜ。
親方様と同じですな。本当にあなたは親方様の血を色濃く受け継がれている。
I wonder if that's a hint of things about maybe there is a connection between Kinzo and Badler?
あの豪傑なじい様が実はいつ死んでもいいと思ってたってのか。それは初耳だぜ。
親方様の人生はいくつかの悲しい出来事の末、すべて贖罪のためのものとなり果てたのです。
あんたは何を知っているんだ
？Alright, so we're gonna get into a little bit.
第8の晩までをすべて終えました。
Okay, I was thinking they were talking about like Kinzo, like what does he have to atone for? Obviously, there's something he wants to apologize to Beatrice for. I wonder what it is.
もう
Oh,
すべてをお話ししてもよいかと。
okay, let's hear it.
なんだって。
My drunkenness was completely blown away. I lowered my feet from the table and listened carefully to hear what kind of words Genji-san would say next.
バトラ様、親方様の書斎に
Oh, okay.
ご案内
He's
申
gonna
し上げます。
he's gonna meet Kinzo.
親方様たちに直接お話を聞かれるのが
Wait,
よろ
from
しいでしょう。
them, not from him.
じい様たち。おい、それは一体どういう。
さあ、こち
What
らへ
is going on here? Is Beatrice in the room with Kinzo? What?
ご案内申し上げます。バトラ様。
After Genji-san told me to follow him, he started to walk down the corridor. I sobered up completely and went after him. We climbed the big staircase towards the 3rd floor. Genji-san stopped walking halfway. He then turned back and spoke.
バトラ様、これよりバトラ様は理解できぬものを見るでしょう。
脅すなよ。理解できねえもんなら今日嫌になるほど見てるぜ。
見えるものを見えるがままに、聞こえるものを聞こえるがままに受け入れてください。なぜも何も。
That's all Battler does is he questions things. That's a lot to expect from him.
何も必要はありません。
And maybe he's telling that to us, the reader as well. Like, don't question anything you see. But the whole point of this is to question things, so I'm still gonna do it anyway.
バトラ様はただ真実を知ることになるでしょう。それをお認めになるか、お信じになるか、あるいは否定されるかも。
And once again, it feels like Genji is saying that to the reader as well. He's like, we're going to give you the information, and what you choose to believe, that's up to you. Genji-san checked one last time to see whether I was prepared to learn the truth. The 8th twilight had already ended, and on the 9th twilight, the witch revives, and none shall be left alive. It meant that Beatrice had already revived, and probably none of us would be allowed to return alive. If I was going to lose my life anyway, I wanted to know the truth in the end. Except, once everything resets, he probably won't remember it, so it's not gonna be of any use to him. It didn't matter how hard it might be to accept.
鬼が出ようと魔女が出ようと覚悟はできてるぜ。
本当にあなたは親方様の若き頃にそっくりだ。バトラ様、どうかご勉学にお励みを。あなたは将来必ずや大きな志を持たれるでしょう。
Now Genji's saying like he's gonna survive this. Maybe Genji somehow knows that things reset and maybe they'll actually have a chance to beat this thing.
そしてその時、足りぬ学力に一生後悔されることがありませんよ。
As by saying that, Genji's implying that Battler will have a future, but if Genji knows about the whole epitaph, he knows that everybody's going to die tonight, so...
勉学に勤しめる機会がもらえるなら、ぜひな。
Genji's a witch. That's my guess. Genji-san's silence forced me to consider the resignation of mine more deeply. And we could see the door of grandfather's study, impregnated with a sweet smell. From his pocket, Genji-san withdrew a gold key with an elegant design. The master keys had been confiscated by Auntie Rosa, but the key to this study alone he had kept with him. He put it in the keyhole, and it made a heavy clunking sound.
親方様、源氏です。バトラ様をお連れいたしました。
There was no reply, but it seemed that permission to go in had been given.
さあ、バトラ様、どうぞ。
ああ、入るぜ。
I readied myself and threw the door open. What are we walking into? At that moment, I got slightly disoriented by the dazzling golden glow. It was somehow a swarm of butterflies shining gold. The golden butterflies that were completely filling the inside of the study poured out all at once.
なんだこりゃ。
He immediately went against what Genji said. Don't say what, don't say why. It was almost like golden leaf confetti. The interior of grandfather's study was filled with a golden glow. And there were reception sofas and a table for guests placed in front of the study desk, and I can see grandfather's back. There was someone on the side opposite from grandfather. It was in shadow, so I couldn't see it well.
親方様、バトラ様をお連れしました。
バトラーか。今思考が忙しい。 しばし沈黙せよ。
Kenzo declared that in displeasure, his back still turned. It seemed he was enjoying playing chess with a visitor. Apparently, the opponent had counterattacked with a superb move. Kenzo seemed to be enjoying himself as he thought deeply, while occasionally laughing and groaning.
30年考えた。
Well, there she is. I guess he did just have to say that he loved her, and she appeared.
この一手をどう切り返すか。30年考えたぞ。楽しめ。30年を寝かせた我が一手を楽しめ。
Wow, Kenzo got used to Beatrice being in front of him pretty quickly. He was like, he's been wanting this for so long, and now he's just like, alright, let's play some chess.
まことにこの一手は味わい深き熟成された一手よ。楽しい楽しい。
Okay, never mind. He's not calm at all.
かなわぬかなわぬ。
これは何だってんだ。
来たかバトラ。しばらく待て。金蔵のために沈黙を。まだリザインは早いぞ金蔵。わらわならもう数手は切り返せる。
It should have been my first meeting with that witch. However, I knew this witch. Even though it was our first meeting, I knew her from the portrait.
源氏、バトラのために飲み物を振る舞え。この男によりふさわしきやつは何か。
若き日より親方様が愛されている。
それが良いぞ。振る舞ってやれ。よくぞ来たな。後ろ宮バトラ。
Alright, well, it really seems like Battler. There's something they see in him.
まずは座れ。
They keep saying about how he's like Kenzo, so.
そなたはわらわの名を。それに免じ。わらわとの面会を許した。そしてお前は。わらわに何を聞く？何を尋ねるのか。黄金鏡の扉はもうじき開かれる。魔女たちを迎え入れてのわらわの復活を祝う宴はもうじきだぞ。それまでの間、お前の問いにいくらでも答えてやろう。
聞きてえことは山ほどある。この島で何が起こった？そしてどうしてこんな事件が起こった？
I doubt we're going to be getting all the answers at episode 2.
密室についても聞きたい。
The locked rooms, of course.
礼拝堂は？ジェシカの部屋は？シオニッサ、夏代おばさんの部屋は？そして客間は？聞きたいことはまだまだある。魔女の正体は？本当にベアトリーチは魔女なのか？何が目的だ？俺たちに何をさせたい？俺をなぜここへ呼んだんだ？
It's funny, most people, it's like they would become stupefied and they wouldn't know what to say, whereas he's got too many questions.
答えろ、すべてだ。
やかましい。問えば答えは返るのか？
そういうな金蔵。もろく儚い雲の巣もヘロデの王から守ってくれることもある。
There's the thing about the spider web again.
この世に無駄なものなどないように無駄な質問もまたない。よいよい、すべての質問に答えようぞ。
Will she really, though?
ただし
なんだ？
すべてを聞き、わらわの存在に納得できたならひざまずき、わらわの靴にキスをせよ。お前を屈服させたくてわらわはここへ呼びつけたのだから。わらわと金蔵は賭けをした。金蔵が次の手をひらめくのと、わらわがそなたを屈服させるのと、どちらが早いかだ。負ける気はせぬぞ。
でけえ口を叩きやがって。ああ、いいぜ。俺を納得させてみろよ。お前が間違いなく魔女様で、不思議で素敵な大魔法を使えるってことを納得させてみろよ。屈服したならキスでも何でもくれてやれ。
The witch cackled gloatingly. Then she glared at him unpleasantly with eyes that said a man can't go back on his word.
よくぞ言った。さて、どの問いから答えようか。すべて答えるぞ。さあ、まずは何からだ。
This seems too easy. Are they just gonna skip over everything and be like, oh my gosh, are they really? That is a lot of questions, so that would take probably another hour just to have her answer all the questions. Alright, is he gonna submit or not? Oh, that's it! And the witch began to tell of everything. Now here we go, trying to read fast again. Be nice if I could slow this down. She started providing answers to all Balor's questions. Everyone made logical sense, everyone satisfied him, and Balor was forced to admit witches truly did exist. Well, the rest is a story that need not be told. After toppling the king and resigning, all that remains is to reflect upon one's moves and set the pieces up once more. Wow. Okay. I was not expecting it to cut off so quickly. The second game, Turn of the Golden Witch result. But we've got the post-game after this, right? We've got, like, the witch's room or whatever. Kraus died on the first Twilight. Natsui died on first Twilight. Ava died first Twilight. Hideyoshi died first Twilight. Rudolph. First Twilight, first Twilight. Okay, Jessica died on second Twilight, pierced by stake of Amadeus, and Canon died by the stake of Satan. Shannon, forehead gouged by stake of Mammon. Goda, chest gouged by stake of Beelzebub. George, stomach gouged by stake of Lucifer. Nanjo, knee gouged by stake of Belphegor. Kumasawa, leg gouged by Leviathan. The witch revived on the ninth Twilight. She will finally open the door to the Golden Land. Kinzo, missing on 10th Twilight, accepted the witch, prostrated himself, and was invited to the Golden Land. Rosa, missing, denied existence, was not invited. Maria, accepted, was invited. Genji, accepted, invited. Badler, missing. Will he accept the witch and be invited to the Golden Land? Oh, so they left it kind of up in the air there. But they said that he accepted the witch. For Kinzo, his lost loved one. For Maria, the lost love of her mother. For Genji, a peaceful sleep. Rest in peace, Beatrice. May your slumber never be disturbed again. That cut off so soon. The winner is the Golden Witch. Since of the 18, none solved the riddle. All 18 died. When the seagulls cried, none were left alive. Well, sorry guys, this is going to be a shorter episode than I was expecting. But like I said, we do have the post-game stuff, and that will be a decent length as well. Alright, Banquet of the Witch. Oh, we're not done yet.
Beatrice!
Okay. So we're gonna actually see what happened to Rosa and Maria. And Genji, it looks like, hopefully? Rosa finally arrived at the chapel. She pointed her gun around her, screaming the witch's name. But there was no way there would be an answer. After grimacing slightly, she noisily approached the table where her siblings' corpses were still exposed and stretched out her arm towards the gold ingots. Ooh, they were very heavy, but Rosa paid that no regard. So maybe Rosa was... She accused everybody else of going after the money, and she was motivated by the money too. She wrapped one of them up in a blanket and slung it over her shoulder. She's like, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here with that money. I'm gonna get out of here with something. Rosa did not part with her gun either, carrying the gold in addition to it. Her shoulders were screaming, but Rosa didn't care. I was gonna say, I'm surprised Rosa didn't go nuts and blast someone with that gun, but it's not too late now. She might do something.
アトリチはどこにいるの？ええ、分かってるわ。どこかにいるんでしょ？あなたは知ってるんでしょ？どこ？
知らない。探さなくても黄金鏡で会えるよ。
その笑いをやめなさい。私が笑いたいくらいよ。そうね、あれは間違いなく魔女だったわ。私は分かってなかった。魔女を名乗る人間だと信じてた。
Wait,
違う。
but it said at the end that Rosa denied the witch and was not invited to the Golden Land.
あれは本当に魔女だった。私はあんなのにごまかされないわよ。いるんでしょ？出てきなさい。姿を現しなさい。ベアトリーチェ。
だからもうすぐ現れるよ。黄金鏡の扉が開かれるよ。
そうだ、それでよかったのだ。構わぬ、ルークを捨てるぞ。持てるもの全てを失う覚悟がなければ至ることもできぬキングがお前という女なのだ。追い詰めるぞ、ベアトリーチェ。
せめてクイーンと言え。ほう、なかなかに妙手。諦めの悪さがそなたの。いや、後ろ宮の地か。
心地よし、実に優雅な夜だ。
Well, at least Kinto's having a good time on his last night.
親方様、ベアトリーチェ様、そろそろ宴の時間でございます。
And Genji's like, I'm looking forward to a long nap.
もうか。
He's always working. Feel like dude never sleeps.
早い。お前と過ごす夜はいつも早く。月がリンゴのように落ち、川面より跳ねる小魚のように日が昇るのだ。
行こうではないか。時間だ。立て、バトラ。わらわの復活を祝う宴の始まりだ。わらわの新しい家具。いや、玩具として紹介しようぞ。俺キレキの魔女たちに。
The witch was relaxing elegantly, her feet thrown out from the sofa and sitting on top of a footrest. However, the footrest wasn't part of a sofa, it was a human. Oh wow. Oh, Badler. Oh, which was down on all fours. Oh, my dude.
ベアトリーチェ様、お召し替えのドレスでございます。
主賓はお前だが、ホストは私だ。私は先に出ていよう。
Oh, we actually get to see the banquet?
着付けの手伝いにシャノンでもおればよかったが、あいにく残れなかったようだな。使いたい時にいつもおらん。つくづく使えんやつよ。しかしお前はよく残ってくれた。嬉しいぞ、我が友よ。
ありがたいお言葉です。
よい、二人とも先に下で待て。源氏、ご苦労。そのドレスはそこへ置いていけ。
かしこまりました。それでは親方様。
我らは先に行こう。ベアトリーチェ。後ほどな。
Kinto's having like the best night ever. He got to, got to see Beatrice. He made it to the end with his best friend. It's all good. Kinzo and Genji left the study. After that, only the witch and the dress and the furniture remained. Oh, Badler, I never imagined you as the furniture.
なぜわらわがそなたに肌を見せることを恥じぬかわかるか。そなたは家具だからだ。家具、わかるか。
I feel like after this game, I will never forget the Japanese word for furniture.
家具だよ、家具。家具に体をさらして恥じる者がどこにいよう。だからお前にわらわは恥じる必要がない。
The witch stood up and removed her jacket just at the shoulders. The jacket slumped down at the back. When the furniture respectfully approached to pick up her clothing, the witch gave it a small kick and it fell over. Oh, Battler! Oh, you're just being referred to as an it. Are you even allowed to talk anymore? The furniture was afraid of what misconduct it had shown.
そなたは家具の分際で、わらわに自らボタンを外させるつもりなのか。立て、そしてこのボタンを外せ。一つずつ。丁寧に、早く、美しく、粗相なく。客人たちを待たせてしまうぞ。早くわらわを着替えさせろ。
I want to see her. I hope that there's a spray for her in that dress. I want to see what she looks like. Oh, my boy. What have they done to my boy?
丁寧に外すのだぞ。そなたの目玉一つよりも高価なボタンであるぞ。間違ってちぎるようなことがあったなら、代わりにそなたの目玉を縫い付けてやる。
The entrance hall was bustling with a large number of figures, and it was sparkling gold with the gold butterflies flying around. The gentlemen in suits and tuxedos, and the ladies in dresses looked like they were having a great number of friendly chats. At a glance, it might have looked like a fabulous medieval ball. But they all had one thing in common, and that thing was exceedingly bizarre, because all of them had goat heads. It was impossible to tell whether it was a goat masquerade, or whether they really had goat heads. The latter was a ridiculous notion, but in this bizarre world, there was serious doubt about which was true. Kinzo was amongst those goat nobles, greeting them. This is so freaking weird. Every one of them seemed to be an honored guest, and Kinzo greeted them more respectfully than could ever have been imagined from his normal demeanor. At that time, Genji's voice rang out through the hall. It was a voice calling for silence. The voice stopped the voices of idle chatter, and everyone turned to face Genji.
今宵復活を遂げましたる我らが黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェ卿のご入場でございます。皆様拍手をもってどうかお迎えください。
When Genji began to applaud, it quickly spread through the guests and became thunderous applause. Ah, boo, I was hoping... I don't know if that's a silk dress. I was thinking something a little slinkier, you know, but... The Golden Witch appeared at the top of the large staircase. She gracefully waved her hand as she slowly descended the staircase, with her preferred furniture in tow. The goat nobles offered unanimous words of celebration in some long-forgotten language, and those with whom she was closely acquainted embraced her, filled with joy at their reunion. As the witch offered greetings of reunion, the witch's furniture followed behind her the whole time. There was a chain around its neck. Oh. This was gripped in the witch's hand like a trained dog. The chain wasn't there to restrain it. The only purpose of the restraining device was to injure the furniture's dignity. It wasn't permitted to wear anything else on its body. One of the young woman goats mixed in with the goat nobles. Ooh, there she is! Birkenstall softly removed her goat mask as the furniture passed in front of her, and spoke with eyes that had no light in them. That face looked like it belonged to a long-haired young girl. Well, interesting. Okay. Oh, I hate seeing him like that. That's so sad.
Oh, ベルンカステル卿。これはようこそおいでよ。
Berncastel? Oh, I've already forgotten how to say her name.
わらわの家具を気に入られたか？
いい趣味ね。
After saying only that, the witch called Berncastel once again put on her goat mask and was swallowed up in the shadows of the other tall goats.
負け 悔しがってるのよ。
違いないな。
I wonder if the post-game stuff is going to be Burden Castell being like, oh, well, you screwed up this time and you ended up as her furniture, so we're going to try it again and try not to lose this time.
今宵はわらわのためによく集まってくれた。久々に古今東西の旧友たちが集う魔女の宴を存分に楽しもうではないか。さあ、今宵を食い明かし、飲み明かし、すすり明かし、食いちぎり明かして、とことん楽しもうではないか。時計を見よ。終わりの時間と始まりの時間が溶け合う時を指すぞ。さあ、魔女の宴を始めよう。
When the rich proclaimed the beginning of the banquet, the large clock pointed to 24 hours, and the sound of a bell began to ring out loudly.
さあ、今こそ黄金の扉を開こうぞ。
All at once, the butterflies leafed in gold flew all around the inside of the room. Amidst the golden storm, the brilliant gold-colored light, and a cross-section joining this world and a different world, was cut open. Amidst the goats' delighted voices, the mansion of the human world and the mansion of those not human overlapped, and in the form of golden butterflies, all those folks who praised the resurrection of the Golden Witch poured out of the depths of hell. It was a golden tornado, a rondo of golden demons. Come, tonight we will put aside rank. Throw open the wine cellar, drop the snake's head into the liquor pot, throw cows and chickens into the furnace alive, drink and eat and sing and dance, sneer and kill and desecrate and degrade.
Beatrice! 今こそ私を黄金鏡へ！黄金鏡へ！
The goat nobles were suddenly crushing in around Kinzo, almost like they were kids demanding the autograph of some famous movie star. There were two differences. First, they were witches, not kids. And second, what the witches demanded were not autographs. Kinzo began to drown in the sea of goat nobles. Only Kinzo's laughing voice echoed throughout the air. Did they, like, eat him? Oh, okay, yep. They certainly did. It was a grand mixture of laughter and his death throes, and Kinzo became wine and meat and bread, an aroma of slurped, a rich taste of gnawed, and pleasant to tear to bits. The voice of his death throes lingered on sweetly, and adorned with melted chocolate and silver dredges, it would make a wonderful dessert. If you took the bones home, you could also use them for soup, and the remains could even become toys for the children to play with. And they could also become good tools for fortune-telling that always gave misfortune. That entire scene was watched by the piece of furniture. It was all fantastical. It was all demonic. Was the quaking of its heart, which should have been paralyzed, proof it could still feel fear? Just then its knees buckled, and the furniture's body tumbled onto the center of the carpet, because the witch had kicked those knees from behind.
ひざまずき敬意を示せ。額を絨毯にこすりつけて己神の卑しさを示せ。両手を後ろで組み血肉のすべてをわらわに捧げることを誓え。
Aww. That piece of furniture let out a painful voice. Fear is the most primal emotion humans have. Was that emotion reviving his sense of self, which should have already been killed?
まだまだわらわの家具にはふさわしくないか。よい、じっくりそなたをわらわ好みの そしてわらわにのみふさわしい家具に仕上げてやる。今のそなたにできるのはせいぜい客人の方々を楽しませることくらいか。
The goat nobles were surrounding the cowering furniture. It seemed that their blazing, blood-red eyes couldn't hide their ecstasy at this new young food they'd been given. Well, I didn't realize that this was the way that they entered the Golden Land. Not quite so pleasant. And from their mouths from which protruded countless ugly teeth, saliva, or maybe the traces of meat and wine they'd just eaten dribbled down. As the piece of furniture let out a wild scream, it retreated, still sitting on its backside. The circle of goat nobles were closing in. And the piece of furniture looked at the witch's face. It stared at her face one final time, believing that because it had submitted to the witch, she would show it some mercy. But there was nothing but scorn on the witch's face, and she wasn't even facing it anymore. The witch went off to greet an honored guest with whom she had crossed gazes. The goat nobles looked down upon the furniture. They were in fact waiting. Just like how one must remove the cork in order to drink champagne. Before bringing the offering served at the banquet to their mouths, they were waiting for just one of those. Of course, the furniture didn't know what that was, but it would come out of his mouth all by itself. In the same way, there is always a pop when the cork is removed. It too would certainly leave his mouth. A scream. It was a sign the modest banquet at which he was to be served had begun. Well. This must have... Oh, it's still going. Okay, Valor. I was gonna say, this must have been an interesting day of recording. I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce that. Wow. Damn. Is that it? Oh wow, it's still going. Wow. By now, the rose garden was a garden of roses and gold. A gold-colored garden where gold butterflies, gold fairies, gold lizards rampaged and flew about wildly. My thing is, if they need a scream in order to be sent to the Golden Land, I can't imagine Genji screaming. Like, I didn't imagine him just being stone cold silent the whole time.
Maria, hayaku!
Oh, now they're gonna get killed too. Holding on to the gun and the blanket wrapping the ingots, Rosa ran at a speed Maria couldn't catch up with, sometimes pausing to call out at Maria to run faster. Therefore, she saw it every time. She saw the golden pursuers chasing them from the mansion. The mass of gold butterflies was chasing after them like a massive crawling hand. And horrifyingly strange-looking shadowy figures with goat heads were chasing after them. There was no need for her to strain her eyes, because those blazing pupils told her what would happen if she was captured. Maria tripped over. Rosa, ashamed that for just an instant she had entertained thoughts of abandoning her daughter and running away, kicked back against the ground and instantly reversed direction. As Rosa's own child tried to stand, the goat head that had sprinted over to get the first bite grabbed a fistful of her hair and pulled her up from the back. Rosa rammed into the goat head with her shoulder, spun, bashed the back of her elbow into the goat's jaw, and buried her knee into his protruding chest. Well, I know Rose is not the greatest mother, but at least she does have some protective instincts. And she thrust the barrel of the gun inside the goat head's mouth as it doubled over from the pain in its gut. Like, she took on a goat demon and actually did some damage.
私の目の前でマリアに指一本触れてみろ。元来た地獄が生ぬるかったことを教えてやるよ。
The blast from the 45 caliber long cold bullet exploded inside the goat head's throat, and its medulla oblongata was instantly pulverized. I'm surprised these things can be killed by human weapons. The goat head couldn't understand. And it thought that woman was like already opened wine bottles. It thought that they were wine bottles, and that turning them upside down would immediately cause their deep red contents to come out. Released, Maria flung her arms around Rosa. But the pursuers were still coming. They could see the giant goat heads, who had given up even pretending to be human, running towards them from across the rose bushes. Rosa spilled several extra bullets, which had been in the pocket of her coat, all over the place, and told Maria to pick them up.
Maria, Mamaがもし倒れたら、あなたは走りなさい。
Wow. Alright, Rosa. I mean, at least towards the end, you're redeeming yourself a little bit.
海岸へ行くの。そして、泳いで泳いで泳ぎなさい。この島のどこにも生き延びることのできる場所はない。やだ。ママと一緒。
Alright, Rose is having a badass last stand. I'll give her that. Just like Natsui. Rose's gun roared 4 times, but even though she really did land 4 shots in the chest of the massive approaching goat, it didn't even flinch. Okay, so are they like zombies? Headshots only? The goat ran with a violent vigor, as though it planned to crush Rosa and Mario with its massive body. Rosa grasped the blanket with the ingot in both hands, and she herself sprinted at the goat, dragging the ingot along behind her. Without even an ounce of fear in that strange-looking giant. If it's to protect my daughter, I'll overcome even hell. I mean, we know that they don't end up surviving, obviously, so it's pointless, but it's cool seeing it. Rosa's roar, the goat head's roar, the terribly heavy ingot, after picking up a terrible centrifugal force and speed, slammed into the goat head's cranium. Alright, so it seems to be headshots, that's it. Rosa pulled a fountain pen from her pocket, but she held it crooked. She placed it in her palm, in the gap between her middle finger and her ring finger, so it stuck out when she made a fist, almost like it was a stinger growing out. She jabbed the stinger into the left eye of the goat head as its head toppled forward. Was the goat head's roar a scream? But Rosa's roar was different. She pulled back her fist and slammed it into the fountain pen that was still sticking into the goat head's eye. The pointed tip was gouged destructively into the depths of its head. She's pretty badass, not gonna lie. As I grabbed the gun Mari had thrown, I finally heard the thunderous crash of the giant tumbling to earth. However, at the same time, I saw the goat head pursuers on the other side of the rose bushes increase in number. I've gained some distance, more than enough now. Holding onto the gun and the blanket wrapped around the ingot, I once again ran with Maria. At this point, ditch the ingot. I mean, yes, it can be used as a weapon, but like, if you're planning on swimming, that thing's just gonna drag you down. Why am I running with my gun in my right hand and the gold in the left? Well, exactly! Wow. Why don't I free one hand and grasp Maria's hand? I can't let go of the gun that protects my body. I can't let go of the gold that protects my future. And yet, I would let go of the hand of my daughter, who is my very future? Oh, and maybe she's having some thoughts here. She's going on about how, like, I'll do anything to protect Maria, but I won't hold her hand. Run, 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 run. She got out of the rose garden and began to run down the staircase through the grove of trees. But Rosa knew. This path through the grove was only turning and twisting many times to make it seem long. She tore straight through it. She had always played here since she was a kid, so she knew. To the beach, to the beach. It almost gives you that hope that maybe they'll make it, even though we know they're not going to. To the sea, to the sea, to the sea. And after reaching the sea, nothing to do but swim, swim. If Maria can't swim, I'll carry her as I swim. There's nothing but death on this island. When she raced down the stairs, she took a bad step. A violent pain ran up her left ankle, and her mind went completely blank. Rosa fell down several stairs and stared in shock at her ankle, which was bent at an odd angle, and the blanket with the ingot wasn't there. She had let go of it the instant she fell, and it had disappeared somewhere in the darkness. Only the gun was left. The tremors in the earth were getting closer. It was only a matter of time before the goat heads flooded in. She didn't want to imagine how many there would be, or how strange they would look. The lightly dancing gold pursuers arrived. The gold butterflies surrounded Rosa and Maria, sparkling and clamoring as though saying, "The prize is here, the prize is here." Rosa couldn't even try to get up. The violent pain from her broken ankle was so great she couldn't ignore it, even in her last moments. Oh, what am I doing? I had the gold. It would have been worth several million yen. I might have been able to start over with that. And yet I fell, lost it. And that's not all. My own life is in danger. Even Mari's life is in danger. What has my life been? I was born in an incomprehensible house, with an irritating older brother and sister since the day I was born. What did I do? No matter what I did or didn't do, I was always in trouble and bullied and made fun of. What has my life been? The roar inside Rosa's heart shriveled away and disappeared. It disappeared when she listened to Mari's crying voice as her daughter sobbed and clung on to her.
Maria, Mama, ちょっと用事を思い出したの。
Oh my god, is she gonna kill herself? And Maria?
先に行っててちょうだい。
Okay, no, I was like, I thought maybe she was gonna do like a, you know, like put her out of her misery before the beasts get to them, like a murder-suicide.
マリアはこんな悪いママでもママと一緒がいいと言ってくれるの。ママと一緒がいい。
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to cut it off.
あなたのことを一番にしているように見せて、いつもあなたのことを後回しにしてきた。運動会に行った、授業参観に行った。でもいつもママは世間体のことばかりで。
Well, nothing like impending death to make you be honest with yourself, right?
こんなママとでもあなたは一緒にいたいというの。こんな悪いママなのに。ね
えママ、知ってる？世界にママは一人しかいないんだよ。いいママも悪いママもいない。ただママが一人いるだけなの。だからマリアは世界でたった一人ママがいてくれればいい。そしてママにとってたった一人のマリアになりたいの。機嫌が良くて甘やかしたいマリアと邪魔だからいてほしくないマリアは別人じゃないの。マリアもたった一人のマリアなの。
Wow, it's like Maria saying, like, I didn't believe that there was a witch inside of you. Like, I know that those two sides of you were you. And you could blame it on a witch, but that was you.
だから怖いママも優しいママも一緒。マリアにはたった一人のママなの。
私はなんてバカだったの。黄金なんかいらなかった。ただあなただけの手を引いていればよかった。私はなんてバカなママだったの。
The shadows of the goats covered the sky even more than the trees of the forest. Their roars blotted out the world with fear. Rosa, still hugging Maria, readied her gun with one hand.
マリア、一緒に行こう。ずっと一緒よ。ママが迷わないようにずっと一緒に。
すぐに会えるよ。ずっと一緒だよ。
And that's a sad thing is that Maria made it to the Golden Land, but Rosa didn't.
黄金鏡で会えるよ。そしたら一緒に遊ぶの。狼と羊のパズルで遊ぶの。 だ1問しか解いてないけどマリアは全部解いちゃったんだよ。だからマリアが出題してあげる。
She had bought that as a birthday present and then hadn't played it with Mari after that night.
遊ぼうね。一緒に約束する。
Those eyes, sparkling like red-hot lava, looked just like a group of fireflies. They danced, closed in, and attacked.
マリアが込めてくれた銃弾を食らいたいやつから前へ出ろよ。うわー
That was a cool way of ending it. I like that, unlike the first chapter, we got to see the aftermath of what happens to people. Whereas in the first chapter, it just showed like, oh yeah, Jessica died, George died, Badler died, but it didn't show what happened. That was a nice little moment at the end there with Rosa and Maria. And a new chapter will begin and Rosa will forget all of that. All right, and then of course we got to check out the tea party. So let's see it. Thank goodness for the tea party, or else this would be quite a short episode. Oh, it's Rosa. Rosa woke up from her doze. It must have been a very deep sleep. Her mind was fuzzy and she wasn't thinking clearly. Where was she? It felt like some mansion, but at least it didn't seem to be the Ushiromiya family mansion. She was in a room that looked like a parlor, and there was some tea that had been prepared. It had almost certainly been prepared for her. Sparkles like gold leaf were dancing around the room, and it looked very dreamlike. She eventually realized that they were gold butterflies, which made that stand out even more. Oh, I'm wondering, the Purgatorio, so I'm trying to think of the first chapter. So it was Shannon, or no. Okay, Shannon was there. I was thinking maybe Purgatorio, maybe this is for people who didn't accept the witch, so they didn't make it to the Golden Land. And then this is where they end up staying instead, because it was Jessica, George, and Badler, and I don't think any of them accepted the witch. But Shannon was there as well, and I'm pretty sure she accepted the witch, or she definitely believed in the witch, so yeah, I don't know. And then we know in this one, Rosa did not accept the witch, and she seems to be the only one here. So, interesting. There was someone across from her. Female. A lady. The witch of the portrait. Oh, we got the characters here. Okay, well let's check out this, since we didn't get to see this before everything ended. Missing finally reached the Golden Land he so desired. The idiot was once again unwilling to accept that, so the magic was spoiled for a second time. Even so, he was probably happy. After all, he managed to be reunited with the Golden Witch, if only for a brief time. Afterwards, he was crunched to pieces and eaten by demons, and went to hell. So much for going to the Golden Land. Badler. Oh, Badler's... Oh, he's straight up not there because he's furniture. Wow. Even Canon got, you know, a little blurb thing here. Okay, so Rosa, missing in the Golden Land, she finally found a treasure more precious to her than gold. However, that was short-lived. Thanks to the idiot, she would once again have to lose that which she had finally found. Afterward, she was chewed to a pulp by demons and went to hell. Maria, in the Golden Land, she learned her mama still loves her, satisfied for now. Is there the one where you can switch from the, Is there a way to switch from this one to the other one? Okay, anyway. She looked like she was having a one-sided conversation. She was probably talking to Rosa, but Rosa's mind was clouded up by deep fog. She didn't have a clue what was being said.
何でもよい。そなたが望むものがあるならば、その強運への褒美と思うもよかろうし、わらわの求めに対する正当な対価と考えてもよい。そなたにとっては全く大したことではないかもしれない。しかしわらわにとってはそれだけ意味がある取引だということだ。
What is she talking about? I don't know. I don't know.
ただせっかくわらわは魔女なのだから、魔女にしか叶えられない願いを求めるのが利口ではないかと思うぞ。せっかくの機会ではないか。この黄金のベアトリーチェから恩恵を得られるなど。
Finally, Rosa started to feel the blood flowing through her body. Her movements were still sluggish, and she couldn't even voice the words she was thinking.
わらわの通り名は黄金の魔女。金蔵に与えたように山なす黄金を与えることは造作もない。何しろ人の世の快楽はすべて金で換算できる。すなわち黄金こそが人の世の快楽そのものなのだ。そなたは想像ができるか？生涯をかけても使い切れぬ黄金の山が。
The witch blew on her pipe, and 7 colors of smoke covered the area. When she did, the inside of the parlor had suddenly become filled with stacks of gold ingots. It looked like a shining gold-colored wall. If each ingot was worth tens of millions of yen, how much would all of this be worth? It seemed sinful to even think of that number.
しかし人の世は難しい。どれほど空高く積み上げた黄金であろうとも満たされぬものがあることを知っている。埋められぬ隙間があることを知っている。わらわはそれをないがしろにしないし、それこそが魔女であるわらわにしか与えられぬ褒美であると考えている。そなたのそれを。なるほど、これはいい。わらわにしか与えられぬものだ。そなたもさぞや喜ぼう。口にせずともよい。そなたの心の隙間など顔に書いてあるからすぐにわかるぞ。
Rosa felt a touch of discomfort at this witch, who kept on talking even though she herself hadn't uttered a single word. But since she still couldn't speak well and found it difficult to even move a finger, she could do nothing about it, and was unable to do anything but listen.
そなたの深き心の傷はどこまで遡れば癒せるのか。これは深い深い。時に破片を飲み込んだまま傷口が閉じてしまうこともある。そういう傷は見た目には癒えていても永遠にうずきを感じ続けるものだ。完全に治すために今一度傷口を開くこともあろう。
As the witch spoke, she was staring deep into Rosa's eyes. What in the world was she peering at? Rosa felt uncomfortable, but she couldn't look away.
そなたの痛みはすでに生まれながらにして運命づけられたものか。これはなんともつらいものよ。言わずともよい。わかるわかる。
Gradually, Rosa, in turn, was drawn into the witch's eyes. Gradually, the world grew dark, spinning round and round as she was sucked in. All right, we're really going into Rosa's backstory, aren't we?
どうしてお前はそんなにバカなのか。
Oh, that's Kraus Nissan's voice. Kraus Nissan is very grown up, so he's very smart. So he hated the stupid kid Rosa. And he was a very scary person, and I was often hit, and my toys were taken from me and broken. He would say it was a punishment because I did something bad, but I didn't really understand what that was, or why I was being punished. I was always punished suddenly, and then after the fact I was told in a contrived manner it was punishment for something or other. But it was always something I didn't remember doing. So I really hated Kraus Nissan. And then that's the whole thing, right? The cycle of abuse.
Rosa.
And then, yeah, it's like she gets abused by her siblings and her father, so she doesn't know how to handle her emotions, and she takes them out on Maria. Still not great.
どうしてお前はそんなにバカなのか?
Oh, that's Ava Nissan's voice. Ava Nissan is very grown up, so she's very smart. So she hated the stupid kid Rosa. And she was a very sly person, and I was often lied to, tricked, and bullied a lot. She would say it was because I was stupid, and that it was only natural for stupid people to be swindled by those smarter than them. So I wanted to become a wise person like Ava Nissan, and listened to what she said. But when I obeyed her, for some reason, someone always got really mad at me. So I really hated Ava Nissan. Even Rudolph? I feel like Rudolph would be the kindest of them because maybe he was closer in age.
Rose.
I guess he was mean to her too. I saw Rudolph as kind of like the cool sibling. Oh, that's Rudolph Nissan's voice. Rudolph Nissan is very shrewd, so he hated the stupid kid Rosa. When Kraus Nissan was around, he was friendly with Kraus Nissan. When Ava Nissan was around, he was friendly with Ava Nissan. Oh, being like he's two-faced. And when Kraus Nissan wasn't around, he was violent like Kraus Nissan. And when Ava Nissan wasn't around, he played dirty like Ava Nissan. And even though he was bullied most of the time, when Kraus Nissan and Ava Nissan weren't around, he gave me 2 people's worth of bullying. Ah, damn it! So I really hated Rudolph Nissan. Oh, but these are my memories from when I was a kid. Quite a lot of unfair things happen when you're a kid, and you can't drag them out forever. In time, you bury them away in the far reaches of memory and forget them bit by bit. That is supposed to be what it means to grow up and become an adult. And maybe that's subconsciously what she hopes Maria will do too. She's abusing Maria, but hopes well, Maria will get over it and she'll grow up because that's what I had to do as well. So becoming an adult is the same thing as separating yourself from all those memories. And so, no matter how much time passed, Rosa couldn't become an adult. Even though she had been blessed with a daughter called Maria and was called a mother, she didn't at all feel like she had become an adult. The witch pitied that, and she smiled, saying that she could heal that pain herself.
どうやって癒すのか可能ではあるが簡単ではない。
This is the Beatrice that's she's the one that lures you in, she talks nicely to you, she tells you she can solve your problems, and then you're indebted to her, and then she becomes the one that we saw at the end.
時間を巻き戻し、そなたに兄と姉がいなかった世界を与えることもできよう。しかしそれでは、そなたは兄と姉に苦しめられた記憶が残らず、故にそれをもって褒美であると言われても納得はできまい。飢えは癒してこそ満たされる。飢えそのものをなかったことにしても誰も感謝しない。日々の飽食に感謝する若者がいないようにな。わかるか?
I think she just told me something really difficult. In short, even if she makes it so I never had elder siblings, the pain wouldn't be removed. Maybe that's what she's saying. Strictly speaking, it's different. Healing isn't the same thing as removing pain. It's the pleasure earned from withstanding pain. Therefore, there can be no healing without pain. To know the joy of healing, you have to know the pain.
となれば、そなたの痛みに報いる喜びがいる。そなたは苦難の過去を誇っている。苦難を知らぬ者には 味わいの快楽を知る資格があるからだ。この快楽を知る者は同じ喜びを他者にも与えずにはいられなくなる。
The witch snapped her fingers, and even though the room was still filled with a mountain of gold and was already like something from another world, a fabulous tablecloth appeared on top of the table, and wonderful cooking was laid out, almost as though it was the opening of a banquet in a castle from some fairy tale. For an instant, Rosa felt a pleasurable surprise at how fabulous it was, but at the same time, she felt a bit of anticlimax, because she found herself thinking that being bullied by her siblings couldn't be wiped away by just one meal, no matter how delicious.
食は人の快楽の多くを占める。生涯生き続ける限り、豚のように食い続けなくてはならぬ。一食で足りなければいくらでも。
Really? That's her thing. It's like, how do we make you feel better? Let's give you good food.
その心の痛みが癒えるまで美食の宴を続けようではないか。始めろ、家具ども。
Oh, I thought I was going to be Badler, and I was like, I don't want to see that. As the witch clapped twice, there were suddenly goat-head servants there, and they began to prepare the meal. From the beautiful food dishes adorning the table, they efficiently took some food and began to pile it onto Rosa's plate. It really did look delicious, but Rosa's body still felt as heavy as lead, and there was no way she could eat. Maybe they also understood that. The goat-head servants tied a napkin around Rosa's collar, and gallantly brought a glass of before-dinner alcohol to her mouth, and even tilted it for her. She remembered an old servant who had once carried a rice porridge to her mouth when she had laid up with a high fever. She couldn't drink it well, and it dripped down from her mouth, but she felt the fragrant sweetness spread throughout her mouth.
ドイツ産の寄付ワインにあやかった甘きアペリティフよ。白ワインを赤きゴールデンドロップで染めたワインカクテルだ。名付けるならば、ブラッディ・クラウス。
Oh shit. Oh, it's the blood of... Oh ho ho ho. Well. So it says like instead... Oh shit. Oh shit, is she feeding? She's gonna feed her siblings to her in the meal, and that's why it tastes so good? That's fucked up. Oh, that's the whole thing. It's like, okay, we're not gonna remove your siblings from your life in the past. We're gonna kill your siblings off, and then you don't have to worry about them anymore, and you're the only one.
そなたの兄を圧搾機に
Wow.
かけて絞り出し
Whoa.
た血のゴールデンドロップだけで染めてある。
Rosa coughed violently, and the bright red that stained her face made it look as though she had coughed up blood.
そなたは紅茶に詳しかろうから意味がわかろう。
Damn, that just like, woo! That was like that moment when they were just doing like what looked like a regular, the after party thing from Higurashi, and then Beatrice showed up and it all changed. This is that moment right there.
ゴールデンドロップとは最後の一滴のことだ。紅茶で最も貴重な一滴と言われている。そして血のゴールデンドロップも同じ。人間から絞り出せる血液の貴重なる最後の一滴。あれにて絞る。
Damn, and yeah, it's gonna be probably all food. It's all gonna be her siblings. As the witch snapped her fingers, a bright red veil was pulled off something large which had not been there moments ago. The solemn and massive machine that was there was just like a coffin for a large-sized person, with many large bulb-like things stuck to it, and it looked like a sinister torture device. Shit, it got real. By its unnerving shape, you could tell it had used manpower to tighten and compress something, and it seemed there were still some squeezed dregs remaining inside, because of the bright red remains that stained it.
しかしゴールデンドロップは一度に一滴しか取れぬ。
Damn, did Beatrice do this from the beginning? To, like, she killed off all of Rosa's siblings at the banquet, and the whole thing about the banquet, right? And took out the insides of them. Like, they... Damn, it's like she did this from the beginning, and she's gonna feed them to Rosa. Her... Wow.
どんな人間からも一滴以上は取れぬというわけだ。しかしわらわは魔女。 人をよみがえらせることもまたたやすい。
When the witch snapped her fingers, suddenly the human compressor began to shake. No, you could also hear a groan. It looked almost as though someone had been sleeping in that man-sized coffin and woken up and was now struggling to get out. But that was wrong. What was inside had definitely been squeezed dregs. Using her magic. Oh my gosh, and she's just torturing him by reviving him, killing him, reviving him, killing him. Using her magic, the witch had once again revived the squeezed dregs to how they had been before they were squeezed. 3 goat-head servants with muscular physiques approached the compressor and forcefully started tightening the large bulbs. As they did, an unearthly moan came from inside the coffin. Rosa thought she knew the owner of that voice. Wow.
料理は料理場でがふさわしい。もう十分だ。下がれ。ゴールデンドロップがどれほど貴重なものかお分かりいただけたかな。それを集め、それほどに赤く染めるには、何十人分も絞らなければならない。
The witch had definitely said that only 1 golden drop could be taken from a single human, and yet she had dozens of people's worth of golden drops from a single human. Only a witch could do this. That golden witch Beatrice could kill a single human endlessly. In other words, before Beatrice, even death did not mean release. And that's like why the chapter's repeating itself over and over again. Beatrice's reviving everybody, probably because she finds this fun and she wants them to solve the riddle.
この男に殴られて口中に滲んだ血を飲み込んだ日を忘れたか。そうそう、あの味を思い出せ。こぼし尽くして枯れ果てた涙の味を思い出せ。その悔しき思い出を癒して足りるアペリティブであると信じている。
Once again, the goat-head servants tilted the deep red glass against her mouth. Rosa attempted to close her lips in resistance, but the deep red liquid was relentlessly poured into her mouth, which was hanging open with shock, and the inside of her mouth was filled with a ghastly sweetness. It was definitely a fragrant sweetness. Her brother, who she had thought of so hatefully, and who had made her soak her pillow so many times, had died dozens of times over to tinge this wine crimson, so it must have tasted sweet. But Rosa tried to spit it out. Because of that, the deep red wine that spilled out of Rosa's mouth made her look as if she were covered in blood. If this ghastly substance was only the aperitif, Rosa couldn't help but feel uncomfortable about what would happen if this banquet continued.
それは旬の野菜による
Fork-ton salad? That's gotta be Ava.
お前がいつか食いちぎってやりたいと
9
歳の誕生日の日に願ったエヴァの舌で作った念願のサラダよ。
When Rosa heard the true nature of the pink-colored meat piled up in the salad, she had a sudden impulse to vomit her guts out. Furthermore, the goat servant stuck a fork in and carried it to Rosa's mouth.
姉の二枚舌のお味はどうか。さぞや柔らかくとろけるであろう。
How sweet, soft, and enchanting it must have tasted in her mouth. After all, Ava's lies were always sweet, and young Rosa had always listened to them. So you could say the taste of the stimulating pepper seasoning that had been added expressed the details of those lies well. I just imagine Goda off to the side. He's being like, he helped prepare the food. He's like, stop spitting out my food. I worked so hard on it. Rosa spat out the tongue salad that kept being pushed into her mouth, covering it with saliva. But the goat-head servants carefully returned it to the plate and carried it to Rosa's mouth over. It's like feeding a baby, like, open up mouth for the airplane to go in.
言うに及ばず、そのサラダにはエヴァの舌を5枚も惜しげなく使っている。舌は1人から1枚しか奪えん。しかしわらわなら何度でも奪える。
As Rosa's tears dripped down, she resisted, half crazed. However, the only way she could resist was by refusing to swallow. Even if she didn't swallow it, the taste of the French dressing increasingly violated Rosa's mouth.
お気に召さぬか？まだまだ料理は続くぞ。ルドルフの顔の皮で包んだ続きのパイ、脳みそを茹でたスープに肝臓のフォアグラ、デザートにも期待せよ。兄弟だけではないぞ。お前が信頼しにもかかわらず裏切った人間たちをふんだんに調理したこの宴をそなたの心が満足するまで永遠に続けようではないか。永遠。
Wow.
嬉しいだろう、後ろ宮ローザ。嫌がるふりなんかするなよ。本当は嬉しいってのは分かってるんだぜ。笑いたくば笑えばいい。ムカつく兄貴や姉貴の悲鳴の生演奏がないとご機嫌になれないってんならいくらでも聞かせてやる。いいんだよ、いやいやで。それがお前の性分なんだろ。本当は全身が泡立つほどに嬉しいんだよ。なのに表向きは苦しんでるふりをしてるだけなんだよな。いいんだぜ。ここにはお前が気にする世間体も体面も何にもない。存分の大笑いして食い散らかせよ。最高の宴だろ。後ろ見やろうぜ。もうやめて。すまぬすまぬ。デザートを驚かそうと思って内緒にしていた。
Oh, what if it's Maria?
明かしておこう。
What if it's Maria?
明かせばフルコースを食べ遂げようという励みにもなるだろう。
Or maybe it's the man who left her, you know, the father of Maria.
デザートは
Oh, yes, I called it. I called it.
マナ娘マリアとリンゴのオーブン焼きだよ。うまそうだろ。こいつを食べればお前は全てから解放される。自由だよ、自由。やっとローザという一人の人間として自由を得るんだよ。嬉しいだろ。嬉しいはずさ。よだれが垂れてるぜ。鏡を見てみろよ。
Wow. This is fucked up. Suddenly, a muscular goat-head cook was holding Maria under his arm. Maria gazed at Rosa with a face that was just slightly sad.
ママ、マリアのこと邪魔だった？邪魔じゃない。
As Rosa spat out the food that was continually being carried to her mouth, and she was covered with mess and saliva and blood, she resisted filthily and screamed.
ママがマリアのこと邪魔なら、マリア食べられても平気。だってマリアはいつもママにひどいことばかり。ママが男の人を連れてくる時も静かにできなかった。ママが男の人とお泊まりしてくる時、寂しくて暴れてお部屋を台無しにした。勝手に探しに行って迷子になって警察のお世話になってママに恥をかかせた。何日も帰ってこなくて泣いちゃって近所の人に慰めてもらってママに恥をかかせた。こんなマリアだからママの迷惑になってる。生まれてきてごめんなさい。だからマリアはママのために美味しいリンゴのオーブン焼きになるの。そしたらママに初めてマリアがいてよかったって思ってもらえるかな。マリアを食べて美味しかったって思ってもらえるかな。
美味しいよね。感類にむせべよ。娘がここまで行ってるぜ。 マナ娘とリンゴのオーブン焼きなんて最高のデザート。これだけ美味しい食材に育てられるなんて、あんた最高の母親だぜ、後ろ宮ローゼ。
Wow, I wonder if we're gonna get this.
ママ、
Wow.
今までありがとう。
I wonder if we're gonna get this for each character in the after chapter, like after episode things, and we'll get to learn about each of the siblings and like what their deep, dark secrets are and their desires.
バイバイ。
待ってマリア、違うの。もうやめて、もうやめて、こんなの嫌。私はこんなこと望んでない。もうやめて、もう許して。いや、やめて。口に入れないで。
So if I'm right about this purgatory, my thing is like Purgatorio being purgatory, it's not quite hell, but they did say that Rosa went to hell because she didn't believe. And when we are in this room, only bad things can happen, like Battler watching his cousins and Shannon die in front of him. And then Rosa being forced to have this happen to her.
我がもてなしに満足してもらえたか。ならばそなたには認めてもらおう。わらわが魔女であることを宣言せよ。後ろ宮ローザはベアトリーチェを魔女と認めると宣言せよ。
Man, if this is what Beatrice is doing to make Rosa believe she's a witch, it just makes me more interested. What did she do to everybody at the chapel to make all the other siblings believe that she was a witch?
認めます。後ろ宮ローザはベアトリーチェを魔女だと認めます。だからマリアを返して、私を解放して。ついに認めさせたぞ。小賢しきバトラはすでに屈服し、黄金鏡に招かれながらわらわを否定する愚か者ローザにも認めさせた。完璧だ。It's perfect。成し遂げたぞ、完璧な勝利を。さあマリアを連れて行け。ローザに美味なオーブン焼きを振る舞ってやれ。
うまそうだな。
Yeah, Battler.
俺にはてめえの牛乳をスライスしてサンドイッチを作ってくれ。
Yes.
その声は。
This is the Battler that I want. Hell yeah, an arm grabbed the back of the witch's head and smashed her face into the table. Fuck yeah. As it did, the witch broke into pieces, turned into a group of gold butterflies, reformed into her body a short distance away. How was he able to do this if he's submitted as furniture?
バトラー。
Was that all an act, Battler?
貴様、家具となって魂まで屈服していたはず。
He's like, we got how many more chapters to go? I'm not submitting that early.
そのつもりだったんだがな。てめえの趣味の悪いレシピに耳を貸してるうちに腹が減ってきちまってよ。魔女の丸焼きが食いたくなってきちまったのさ。それからマリア、自分を食べてなんてセリフは10
Ew.
年早い。
Battler, come on, man.
ただし
Ew. Battler, no.
まず俺に言えよ。
No, no, you're...
約束だぞ。
You were cool before you said that. Less cool now.
約束する。
バトラ君。
待たせたな、ローザおばさん。俺は忘れてたぜ。こいつは俺とこの女の一騎打ちだったんだ。 俺が屈するわけには断じていかなかったんだ。ローザおばさんが粘ってくれたおかげで再び戦う気力を取り戻せたぜ。
This man, who was broken to the depths of his soul and capitulated to me. I see. He doesn't know when to give up. Just what I'd expect from Ushirimiya Kinzo's grandson. So the chick of a phoenix is a phoenix after all.
威勢が良い。気に入った。そうでなくてはな。わらわの期待する後宮バトラとはわらわを否定してみろ。そしてそれをわらわは完膚なきまでに叩き潰す。何度でも屈服させてやろうぞ。一度靴を舐めたそなたに何度でも敗北の味を教え込んでやる。
上等だぜこの後宮バトラ。泥をすすってでも立ち上がる男だってことを教えてやる。俺は喧嘩で無敵だった試しはね、何度か負けてる。だがな、必ず泥をすって立ち上がる。そして必ず蹴りをつける。男の喧嘩はな、負けを認めない限りどれだけ叩きのめされようと負けじゃねえんだよ。一本取られただけで俺が参ると思うなよ。楽しませてやるぜベアトリーチャ
ー。受けて立とうぞ後宮バトラ。家具ども、次なるゲームの準備を始めよ。
Yeah, literally the next game, next chapter. Let's go. We're gonna restart. Put the chess pieces back where they start. Let's do it again.
その間に貴様にはたっぷりと聞かせてもらおうではないか。こたびのゲームでは密室も多いぞ。
Always locked
そ
rooms.
なたの逃げ工場のほとんどをわらわが赤で叩き潰した。その上でさらにどのようなへりくつで言い逃れてみせるのか。礼拝堂の鍵、ジェシカの部屋の鍵、使用人室の鍵、夏日の部屋の鍵、客間の鍵。お前らのお得意な奇想天外、妄想暴言空想はったり、とんでも超展開斜め上でわらわをとことん否定してみせろよ。
ああ、ダメだぜ。全然ダメだ
They just sound like Dragon Ball characters, just powering up all the time. All right, and then we're going to finish off with the question mark, question mark, question mark. So we're going to get some more information about, hopefully, from the witches, about the witches.
Sate, お楽しみいただけたか、こたびのゲーム。
ここまで一方的なワンサイドゲームだと見応えを通り越して退屈よ。
これは相変わらずお点が辛い。退屈を愛さないベルンカステル教にふさわしい迫力ある展開だったと自負していただけに、これは手厳しい。
迫力についてはまあ認めるわ。ただフェアなゲームとしてはひどいものね。もう少し対等な条件でないと。
勝ち目がないと言われるか。
So she changes. So each time she does a chapter, she changes things in a slightly different way in order to, I guess, appease to Bernkastel. Maybe that's why Beatrice made her appearance up front and made herself more... Like, she got herself into the game more rather than just being, like, in the shadows.
ベルンカステル教に
どういう意味かしら、レアと。
ごまかさなくてもよい。すでに知っておるぞ。そなたが傍観者でないことを隠し通せているつもりか。 そなたは人の領地まではるばるやってきて、わらわの逆の目に
Look at her looking
届き者よ。
Look at her, she's looking right at me like, did you say something to her?
わらわのゲームを傍観するつもりでいて、わらわの敗北に熱く張っておるのだろうが。
I don't like her staring at me. I don't like it.
図星であろう。
だったら
実に面白い。あのラムダデルタ教を退けた最強の魔女ベルンカステル教と戦える機会を賜れるとは本当に愉快よ。
ええ、私も愉快よ。そこまで自信満々のあなたがボロボロに負けるところが見たくてはるばるやってきたんだもの。
なんと素直なお人なのか。それにしてもわらわと大ベルンカステル教との対決をただの一人の感染者もなくというのはいくらなんでももったいない。
And now they're both staring at me. I know, I'm the observer. I get it.
呼んだのね。
Or not? I'm guessing that's another witch.
あの子。
The child. What child? Who? What? Are we being introduced to someone else here? Oh, we are too. All right. A new witch.
見つけたわよ。ようやく見つけたわ。ベルンカステル。
ごきげんよ、ラムダ。あなたも暇ね。退屈を愛さない同士、再び巡り合うのは運命かしら。
バカな子ね。私に勝てたのはちょっとした運と相性の問題だとどうして気づかなかったのかしら。
And she kind of looks like Sadako. It's like Rika and Sadako.
それで天狗になってよりにもよってベアトリーチェに喧嘩を売るとは身の程知らずもいいとこね。
She's got that Sadako energy, whereas the Burden Castell's got the kind of Rika, more subdued energy.
ベアトリーチェは強いわよ。私より残酷だしね。ほんのちょびっと。あとそれと人のことを勝手にラムだって略さないで。
ベアトもバカね。この子はあんたのゲームであってもしっちゃかめっちゃかにするわよ。
ラムダデルタ教には決してギャラリーとしてだけお呼びしたのではない。そなたがわらわと逆の目に張っているとお伝えしたら、今日はそなたの逆の目に張ると仰せになられた。
あんたまだ根に持ってるのね。
私は宇宙最強の魔女なんだから。でもあんたに負けちゃったから最強じゃないの。だからあんたと敵対する相手は誰であっても私を味方するんだから。
というわけだ。大ベルンカステル教が相手ならばこの程度ではハンデにもならぬだろうが、余興にはふさわしかろう。
好きになさい。バレてる以上私も本格的にやらせてもらうわ。
それがよかろう。もとよりわらわの辞書に手加減の文字はないのでな。ラムダデルタ教、この度の貴重な縁を
こちらこそよろしくよ、ベアトリーチェ教。こいつには私も散々に栄養飲まされてるの。私たち二人で叩き潰して2倍でお返ししなきゃ腹の虫が収まんないのよ。
こちらこそよろしくよ、ラムダ。そしてベアト、どういう勝敗になろうともこれは私たちにとってとても有意義な戦いになるわね。
そうね、もちろん負ける気はないけど私たちには勝敗以上に意義がある。
何しろわらわたちは退屈を愛さない。
The three witches giggled, cackled, and guffawed.
その通りよ。感謝するわ、ベアト。やっと退屈から逃れられそうだわ。せいぜい私を楽しませなさい。ラムダデルタと二人がかりで。
そうさせてもらうぞ。
そうと決まればベアと早速作戦会議をするわよ。その子の弱点は知り尽くしてる。それを全て伝授してあげるわ。
にもかかわらずラムダデルタ卿は親ぶれになられたと。
もう教えてあげない、教えてあげない。
退屈しない御人であるな、ラムダデルタ卿は。
でしょ。面倒よろしくね。あれで寂しがり屋なのよ。
なるほど、今流行りのなんとかというやつか。さすがはラムダデルタ卿、最先端でおられる。
もう行きなさいよ、あの子。あなたが追っかけてくるの。
それでは失礼しよう。また次のゲームにて。
Now she's gonna speak directly to me, isn't she? You're
ごめんなさいね。
like you sucked at that game. You gotta try harder, or else we're not gonna win it.
厄介なのが来たけど気にしないで。それよりひどいことになったわね。私もラムダとのゲームでだいぶ悲惨な末路というのを経験してきたつもりでいるけど、今回のは群を抜いてひどいわ。あなたが膝を抱いて心を閉ざしてしまう気持ちもわからなくない。こんな末路あと何度もやられたら100年を待たずに心が殺されてしまうわ。ベアトにカンパされてしまったから白状する。今のあなたは
Oh my
かつて
gosh.
ラムダの世界にとらわれていた頃の
Isn't that the same music that was in the at the end of Higurashi when I was trying to figure out where all of the fragments went? Oh my gosh.
過酷な運命の迷路に閉じ込められ魔女にいいようにいたぶられている。
That's the whole thing she's saying too about like your heart will be broken, you know, your spirit will be broken within 100 years, which is like what Rika went through.
私はそこから生まれた魔女だから、あなたの姉に当たるのかもしれない。だからあなたに力を貸そうと決めたの。しかし私の運命に比べてもあなたのそれはあまりにも無言。同情どころか涙までもらってしまいそうなあまりに悲惨な運命よ。でもどうかくじけないで。ベアトになんか決して屈しないで。確かにあの子のゲームはあまりに卑劣。ゲーム版を少しだけ見させてもらったけど、あまりに卑劣かつ狡猾な仕掛けで、その舞台仕掛けのいやらしさは多分ラムダデルタのゲーム版のそれをはるかに上回るわ。しかも恐ろしいことに、あの子は駒を指すとき常に最善手を指しているわけではないの。ここがラムダとは大きく異なる点。ラムダは勝つために常に最善手で圧倒的な数の駒を指してくる。しかしベアトはたまにわざと手を抜いて駒を指してくるの。困ったことに相手の指し手から手の内を探ろうとしている私たちにとってこれは非常に手強い情報のノイズ。厄介な撹乱になりうるわ。しかしチェスに例えるなら無駄な一手は相手にノイズを与えるかもしれないけれど、貴重な一手を損していることに違いはない。つまり付け入る余地はゼロじゃないってこと。あなたには信じられないだろうけども、 今回のゲームもそう。あれだけ圧倒的な展開に見えて実は隙がある。つけ込ませたいかのように隙がある。それが罠なのかこちらを試しているのかわからないけども、とにかく屈服しないで、思考を止めないで、あらゆる可能性を否定しないで。あなたが戦う意志を持ち続ける限りベアトに勝ちはない。魔女の戦いは守りが肝心よ。勝とうとするより負けないようにしなさい。認めたら負けなら断じて認めてはダメ。あなたに魔女を認めさせること、これがベアトリーチェの勝利条件の一つであることはもはや疑いようもないのだから。
Except it seems like Balor can just change his mind at a whim and just be like, wait, actually, I submitted, but wait, no, I don't. So as long as he doesn't completely submit, we're still in it.
私もあなたの味方であると公言した以上、できる限りの力になれるよう努力するわ。あなたも努力なさい。もしまだ膝を抱いているなら早く立ち直って。こういう時なんて言ったかしら。その
Oh, is she gonna say the, what is she, something, yay, the thing that Rika would say. Fight on! Fight on! Yeah, that's it. Oh my god, yes. Yay! That's, yay.
恥ずかしいわね。私がここまでしてあげたんだから早く立ち直りなさいよね。
That was a nice little callback. That was very sweet.
いたいた。
Oh my gosh, it never ends. This has been going on for like an hour, it feels like.
ベルンはいじけてどっか行っちゃったかしら。本当にざまあないったらありゃしない。それにしても相変わらずベルンが選ぶ駒はしょぼいわね。チェスだってそうでしょ。駒が全部ポーンだったら勝ち目ゼロでしょ。駒が全部ルークやビショップだったら絶対負けやしないわ。まあ前回は私がついつい哀れになって好きな場所から駒を進めていいわよって言ったら、ベルンのやつお情けの空気も読めずに手持ちのポーンを全部入場させた状態から始めて。何よあれ、あんなの負けでもなんでもないんだから。思い出しただけでもムカムカするわ。そんなわけでこの私はベルンがギャフンとする顔を見ないと腹の虫が収まらないわけ。そんなわけなんでベルンの駒のあんたがそんなざまなんで私は最高にいい気分なわけ。しかもあの子はあれでいて本当に負けず嫌いだから、きっと今頃悔しくって歯ぎしりをして涙をポロポロ流してるわよ。本当にざまあないわよ。ほらあんたも一緒に笑いなさいよ。ちょっとあんたまだ膝を抱いてるの？ベアトにちょっと本気出されたくらいでもうそのざまなの？情けないったらありゃしない。あんまり情けないからちょっとだけ力を貸してあげるわ。この宇宙最強で絶対の魔女である大ラムダデルタ卿があんたの絶望的な勝率をほんのちょっぴりだけ絶対に近づけてやるわ。感謝なさい。ベアトリーチェはね、確かに残酷で強力な魔女かもしれないけれどこの私の敵じゃない。なぜか？甘いからよ。あの子はあと数手でチェックメイトできる局面を作りつつわざと詰めない。くだらない駒を取ったり余計な駒を置いてより一方的な盤面にしてみたり、早い話が勝ちが見えると遊び出す悪い癖があるってわけ。あんたやベルンにとって辛い様々な攻め手のほぼ全てが私から見ればやりすぎの無駄もいいところ。つまりそれこそ好きでありチャンスでもあるってわけ。
Is there a reason why she's giving me this hint I thought the whole thing about her was certainty, like she wants to be certain to win, and yet she's giving me a clue. Feels like a trap.
恐れるに値する相手じゃないでしょ。手段と目的を時に履き違える。そして悪い遊びが過ぎる。その結果、自ら弱点を作り晒してさえいる。私のような最強の魔女から見れば、なんでこんな余裕ぶったことをするのか理解できない。自ら勝率を下げてるなんてね。でもまあ、そのせいでベルンみたいな相手を読んでかわすタイプの魔女には非常に相性が悪いってわけ。読みが効かないから。ベルンにとっては私みたいな素直で正直なタイプは読みやすくてやりやすいんでしょうね。ムカつくことに。まあでも私みたいな超火力タイプはベアトみたいな軽くて広い弾幕タイプなんか真正面から打ち破れちゃうわけだから、相性のじゃんけんみたいなものかしら。私がパーならベアトがグー、ベルンはチョキってとこね。まあどうでもいいことかしら。確かに私のパーはベルンのチョキに負けるけど、パーよりはるかにすごい超パーだったらチョキにだって勝てるでしょ。つまりこのラムダデルタ卿は超パーってわけ。少しは血色が戻ってきたみたいね。ベアトのやつローザとかいう駒をいじめて遊んでるわ。一見すると本当に趣味の悪いやつだと思うでしょ。違うのよ。あんたが立ち直って戻ってくるのを期待して時間を潰して待ってるだけなの。
Oh, and that's exactly what ended up happening when I barged into there and told Beatrice that I wasn't done yet.
わざと憎まれるようなことをしてあんたの義憤を引き出そうという手ね。ああ、やだやだ、そういう子って。じゃあ私は戻るわね。あ、私があんたにちょびっとだけ力を貸したのは
I bet Beatrice told her to tell me that because she doesn't want Battler to just submit, because then the fun is over. She wants him to have that fire back.
別にあんたを助けたくて力を貸したわけじゃないんだからね。
Alright, whatever you say.
この宇宙最強の魔女の私はベルンに負けて最強の座を奪われちゃったの。
She really giving me Sadako vibes. She even got the little fang tooth.
それで私はベルンからその座を取り戻さなくちゃならないわけだけど、もしここでベルンがベアトに負けちゃったら最強の座が今度はベアトに移っちゃうじゃない。まあ別に私はベアトから奪い返す方が楽だからいいわけだけど、それじゃあ私の腹の虫が収まらないのよね。ベルンは私が打ち負かす。そして最強の座も私が取り返すの。別にあんたに力を貸すわけじゃないんだからね。ベルンを泣かせたら許さないんだから。
Are we done? Are we finally done? It's over? That was a lot of information to take in. Alright, and before we go, always new stuff, right? So there we go. We've got the witch side. Find out some more information. Wow, there's a lot of characters now. The black blood from Kinzo. Okay, so we've got, so Badler is now on the witch's side. Inherited the massive resistance to magical power Kinzo was born with. Ironically, it was this trait that made it so hard for Kinzo to succeed as a mage. A massive magic defense can be an ace in the hole for a battle against a witch. Kinzo has begun to lose this power with age, but Badler's power is still on the rise. Perhaps it's understandable why Beatrice tried to crush this as soon as possible. Maria, a little mage who has inherited the black blood from Kinzo, and like Kinzo, she was gifted with natural talent and began to tread the path of the mage while still young. That said, her power is still weak and she is no more than an apprentice. However, she is skilled with enchantments which bestow magical powers upon objects, and the magical items she creates compete with those of the Meister class. Kinzo, a self-taught human mage, natural talent and level of knowledge are nothing special. But when his nearly insane power of concentration and dedication were transformed into magical power, he awakened as a great mage. His power is at least great enough that he was able to summon Beatrice and form a contract. Though his power is great, it is also lopsided. In particular, he specialized in summoning and barriers, so perhaps it is fitting to call him a summoner instead. And we got Kenji. I don't think these guys, now that they're confirmed, they weren't on this side, were they? Genji, Kinzo's earliest furniture, which he created to serve him and him alone with complete loyalty. Oh, so he was created? So he was summoned? Wow, okay, so when they said they got them from, like, orphanages, so, like, he created Genji and Shannon and Kennen? Though he was Kinzo's first creation, he was made with the help of a high-class demon. I guess it makes sense if, they refer to them as furniture. Just like Beatrice refers to her servants as furniture. Duh. Oh my god, I can't believe this. So, it makes sense, so... Wow. Though there were several flaws in his initial specs, he concealed a great potential within himself. In the many years following that, he began to mature and compensate for his many deficiencies, turning himself into the nearly flawless butler furniture he is now. He is approaching the limit of his service life, but the magical power he can unleash for an instant rivals Kinzo's. And we haven't seen that full power yet. Shannon is Kinzo's handmade furniture in the purest sense, which he created without borrowing the power of demons. Though there were problems with several of her initial specs, she was given a very rare and precious thing, a heart. It seems that as a result of his long personal experience, Kinzo came to believe the power created by the heart contains within it a strong magic. In the lengthy span of time following that, she began to mature, becoming exceptionally skilled with power of a protective or repulsive nature, such as magical barriers. Because of this, in the realm of barriers alone, she possesses an immense mage-class level of power. Canon, the last furniture created by Kinzo thus far, so that's going to be it. So there's nobody else. So Kumasawa's not secretly some sort of mage as well? Making use of all his previous experience, Kinzo managed to implement a set of flawless specs. Canon was also given a heart, but it was much weaker than Shannon's. Perhaps because Kinzo felt a sense of approaching personal danger related to his fortune as he neared the end of his life, he bestowed Canon with the rare power to fight and protect. However, he hasn't yet matured very far and is unable to control his own powers. I want a Kumasawa with the ability to get a blade coming out of her damn arm. Like, I want that. And then we got, like, all this. There's so much information. Lambda Delta, is that how you say her name? The Witch of Certainty was lived for 1,000 years. She embodies the idea that hard workers are rewarded and is highly respected even by humans. Though she's a witch, she does not stray far from the concept of humans. For that reason, her power as one worshipped by humans is incalculable. However, she's fickle about whose effort she chooses to reward, and in many cases she bestows her favor upon those which can please her, or who can please her the most. Her massive, swift, and terrifying power can cause any witch to submit in an instant. However, she's often reckless, and Bernkastel was able to take full advantage of that. Bernkastel, the Witch of Miracles, who has lived for 1,000 years. Her vast power is capable of creating all kinds of miracles, but her heart has broken a bit as a result. Back when she was a human, Lambda Delta once imprisoned her within a cruel fate, toying with her the whole time. It seems she's unable to abandon others who are caught within a similar fate. In theory, she holds the strongest power of any witch, but in practice, that is no more realistic than saying a piece of paper can reach the moon if you fold it 100 times. And fold it 100 times she did. So Lambda Delta was the one who put her, like, Rika in that situation. Interesting. Or at least that's what it seems like. Okay, Beatrice loves bullying the weak and is capable of using trial and error endlessly to find the cruelest fate they can possibly be given, and she toys with her victims even further by piling on one after another. This witch is extremely powerful, but word has it she sometimes becomes obsessed with the art of creating certain patterns, so her means end up becoming her goals. And then we've got all of these witches. Oh my god, guys. Holy crap. We got the seven sisters of purgatory. Lucifer, advanced level furniture, can move of her own accord but cannot disobey her summoner's orders. Possesses significant power even in human form, but her terrifyingly full potential is truly unleashed only upon returning to her original form as one of the 7 stakes of purgatory and soaring at the enemy at high speeds. Haughty and arrogant, but actually feels pleasure from submission. Leviathan. Okay. Nothing but a jealous crybaby. She'll do whatever it takes to get what she wants. So they all look pretty much the same. Slightly different hair, slightly different and different colors. Alright, Satan is really grumpy, but actually wants others to get angry with her. Belphegor, thoughtful and hardworking. Because of this, she corrupts her masters. Memon, really greedy. When she decides she wants something, she will sacrifice anything and everything to get it. Beelzebub, in fact a gourmet, would use any ingredients to make a good meal, even her own body. Then Asmodeus, at that age where she wants a boyfriend, would give up her life for love. Okay, guys. Is that it? Are we done? Let's execute. So witches find Balor to be a toy worth breaking. Then that explains why she breaks him a little, fixes him, and then breaks him again. Torture is meaningless if you kill the subject. You have to alternate between causing them pain and letting them rest. So I guess that'll be... Yeah, so Balor is going to be the only one that is, I guess, has some sort of new thing with the execution, because we didn't get to see, because his thing was just completely blank at the end. Alright, I think that's everything. Holy crap. It turned from what could have been a very short episode into a pretty long episode with all that post-game stuff. So we definitely learned a lot of interesting information. This Lambda Delta, who's going to be working with Beatrice, and might end up making things even harder for us, because she's all about wanting to be certain that she's going to win. And there's that whole thing at the end with Rosa being fed her siblings and attempted to feed her daughter, and then that part at the end where Rosa had her, I guess, revelation that she knows she's not the best mother, but that she was willing to potentially sacrifice Maria so she could keep the gold and potentially save herself. And yeah, just actually getting to see the banquet, see Battler actually for a moment become furniture was very disheartening, but I'm glad that he's back in the game. He's not giving up yet. We still have so many chapters to go. We can't give up yet. So next Friday, I will be doing my theories from the information I gathered from this chapter. So yeah, I'll be doing a theory episode, and similar to the one I did after Chapter 1, so that's going to come out next Friday. And then after that, we are going to be starting into Chapter 3, and you guys have said that if you think Chapter 2 is insane, wait until you read Chapter 3. So obviously, I'm excited to see how this game can continue to surprise me. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and this chapter, and I will see you next Friday. Until then, bye. Special thanks to my top-tier patrons, Nana, Sparky, Derek Nickel, Harry Gazif, Asborn Kennedy, and iCognito.